The film begins in 180 AD, in the vast and bitterly cold forests of Germania. The Roman army, led by General Maximus Decimus Meridius, prepares for battle against the fierce and disorganized barbarian tribes. The opening scene establishes the brutal reality of warfare as Maximus surveys the battlefield, his worn armor and weary eyes reflecting years of service. The disciplined Roman soldiers stand in rigid formations, ready for combat, while the enemy howls in defiance from the tree line. Maximus is introduced as a tactical genius, respected by his men, and beloved by Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He commands not through fear, but through loyalty and inspiration. Before the battle begins, he speaks to his cavalry, giving them a rousing speech about earning their place in history. As the fight commences, the film showcases its first breathtaking battle sequence, filled with flaming arrows, cavalry charges, and brutal hand-to-hand combat. The Roman military superior strategy prevails, and Maximus secures a decisive victory, demonstrating why he is the emperor's most trusted general. After the battle, Emperor Marcus Aurelius invites Maximus to his tent for a private conversation. The aging ruler is disillusioned with corruption in Rome and reveals that he does not wish for his son, Commodus, to inherit the throne. Instead, he wants Maximus to take temporary control and restore Rome to a republic. Maximus is stunned by the offer and does not desire such power, but Marcus Aurelius insists that Rome needs a man of integrity. Shortly after, Commodus arrives, hoping to hear words of love and approval from his father. However, Marcus Aurelius tells him the truth. He will not be emperor. Devastated and overcome by his lust for power, Commodus embraces his father, only to suddenly strangle him in an act of desperate betrayal. The murder is quiet, intimate, and horrifying, as Commodus weeps over the lifeless body of the man he both loved and envied. The next morning, Commodus declares himself emperor and demands the loyalty of Rome's generals. When Maximus refuses to bow to him, Commodus orders his immediate execution, along with the extermination of his family. Maximus, realizing the trap, kills his captors and escapes, riding desperately toward his home in Spain. Upon arrival, he finds his worst nightmare realized. His wife and young son have been brutally murdered and crucified. In a scene of raw emotion, Maximus collapses in the dirt, cradling the burned remains of his family. Overcome by grief and exhaustion, he loses consciousness. Slavers soon find Maximus, weakened and delirious, and sell him into the brutal world of gladiatorial combat. He is purchased by Proximo, a former gladiator who earned his freedom under the rule of Marcus Aurelius. Proximo runs a gladiator school in North Africa, training slaves to fight for the amusement of bloodthirsty crowds. At first, Maximus refuses to fight, still lost in his sorrow. However, survival instincts take over, and he quickly proves himself in the arena. He forms an alliance with Juba, a wise and kind-hearted Numidian warrior, and Hagen, a towering Germanic gladiator. As Maximus fights and wins, he begins to regain a sense of purpose. Proximo recognizes his talent and reveals a vital truth. If Maximus can win over the crowd in Rome's Grand Colosseum, he may earn his freedom. Meanwhile, in Rome, Commodus consolidates power, growing increasingly paranoid and cruel. He indulges in lavish excess while seeking the approval of both the Senate and the people. His sister, Lucilla, is caught in a dangerous position. She must placate her unpredictable brother while secretly conspiring against him. Though she once loved Maximus, her primary concern now is the safety of her son, Lucius, whom Commodus has begun to see as a potential rival. Proximo eventually takes his best gladiators to Rome, where Maximus makes his debut in the Colosseum. In a grand spectacle, he and his fellow gladiators are forced to reenact the Battle of Carthage, playing the losing side against a superior Roman force. But Maximus, using his tactical brilliance, leads his men to an unexpected victory, stunning the crowd. The people chant for the Spaniard, unaware of his true identity. Commodus enters the arena to meet this mysterious warrior. When Maximus removes his helmet and reveals himself, Commodus is visibly shaken but tries to maintain his composure. In a tense exchange, Maximus defies the emperor before the roaring crowd, proclaiming his identity. "My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the north, general of the Felix legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius." father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. Commodus, humiliated but unable to kill Maximus outright due to the crowd's love for him, devises a new plan. He pits Maximus against Tigris of Gaul, an undefeated gladiator, in a rigged battle. The fight is intense, with tigers released into the arena to increase the danger. Despite the odds, Maximus triumphs. When Commodus orders him to execute Tigris, Maximus refuses, further cementing his status as a hero of the people. Lucilla and Senator Gracchus approach Maximus in secret, revealing their plan to overthrow Commodus. They arrange for Maximus to escape and reunite with his loyal soldiers outside the city. However, the plan is betrayed, and Commodus cracks down on the conspirators. Proximo sacrifices himself to allow Maximus to escape, but Maximus is ultimately captured before he can reach his men. Commodus, knowing he cannot defeat Maximus in a fair fight, challenges him to a duel in the Colosseum. Before the battle, he secretly stabs Maximus in the ribs, ensuring that he will be weakened. As they enter the arena, Maximus struggles to stand but refuses to submit. The fight is brutal and raw, but despite his wound, Maximus overpowers Commodus. In the end, Commodus, now weaponless and exposed, attempts to pull a hidden dagger, but Maximus turns against him, killing him in front of the entire Roman crowd. As Commodus collapses, Maximus, bleeding heavily, gives his final commands. He orders Rome to be restored to a republic and for the slaves to be freed. His vision of a better Rome is his last act. He sees a vision of his wife and son in the afterlife, smiling as they wait for him. With his duty fulfilled, he dies peacefully. Lucilla mourns his passing but honors his final wishes, promising to build a Rome he dreamed of. Juba buries figurines of Maximus's family in the arena, whispering that they will meet again in the afterlife. The film ends with the Colosseum bathed in golden light, symbolizing the dawn of a new era. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more detailed movie breakdowns.